Good evening, friends. Welcome to another Friday of the 15 Fridays of Gut Health. I am prepared with my notes, and tonight we are talking about immunities and gut health, primarily the relation between your immune system and the health of your gut. And so, just like in the previous events that we've done, I started off with a short list of questions, and then everything that I share afterward is related to the questions that I thought of when it comes to these things pertaining to the events topic. And the questions that will be answered, some of them seem to like answer themselves within the answer of the other one. They're more related than I thought. So the questions I had written down for this evening are: what are your immunities? What do immunities have to do with your gut health? And how do you strengthen your immune system? And what do immunities have to do with food? So, real basic, real simple. Like I said, I'm not trying to take up too much time. It's just the front and the back of information here. So, shall we begin? And also, apologies ahead of time. I am still very pregnant and get indigestion, and it interferes with my speaking. So, that's fun. Anyways, on to what we have for the evening. So, your immunity is the body's ability to resist or protect itself from disease. It helps you to protect from getting sick and promotes healing when you're unwell or injured. So, real basic, right off the bat, your immunities are what, it's like your first, last, and only line of defense when you become sick or you get an injury and your body needs to heal the sickness by the invader or the illness by the injury, you know, for the illness or for the injury. Say you got a cut on your arm, it sends your immunities down there to one, make sure it doesn't get infected, and then two, also so your body can heal that cut and you can have, a nice clean layer of skin thrown over top of it. A significant portion of the human immune system is located in the gut, meaning that the health of your gut microbiome is in a direct influence over your overall immunity. So, a balanced gut bacteria population helps to train your immune system to effectively respond to pathogens, which, um, which being that about, I would say about 70% of your immunity is living within your gut. So, if your gut is out of balance, that is called gut dysbiosis, and that can lead to a weakened immunity response within your body. So, if your gut is out of balance, you're not going to have as strong of a defense system within your body to fight off the infections or diseases or injuries. And I'm trying to do this without having too much of a distracting indigestion. So bear with me. So um, when you have an increased susceptibility to infectious diseases, that is the result of having gut dysbiosis, which is the unbalanced gut. So if you imagine 80% good and 20% bad is an ideal environment within your gut, good being the good bacteria, that would strengthen your immune system. So if those numbers were flipped around and you only had 20% good and 80% bad, then you're more likely to have a weakened immune system as well. And you might get sick a little bit more often than someone who has balanced gut, so to speak. Or if you did work on getting your gut balanced, you can lessen the susceptibility that you have to getting sick from disease or illness. And a large percentage of the body's immune cells reside in the gut's lining. So if you imagine the gut like a bag, like your intestines, like they have a lining to them. So whatever you eat or drink and that passes through your gut and your intestines and stuff, they will go past your through through the intestines, and the intestines have gut um, has immune cells in the lining. So it's always interacting with everything that you eat and consume. And healthy gut bacteria produce metabolites that promote immune tolerance and prevent the immune system from overreacting to harmless substances. So that can also be found in an example, say, allergy season. They say like when everything outside is like blooming and getting pollinated, or even cut grass and stuff, and you have that immune response, your body's going to overreact if it's an imbalanced gut. I don't know about you, but before I started working on the health of my gut, I had a really, really bad reaction to all the pollen. And anytime someone was mowing the lawn and I was driving down the road and I could like smell it coming or hear it coming, I would roll up the windows and have the circulating air and like no air coming from the outside, so I wouldn't be completely miserable because you get that immune response where your nose gets stuffy, your eyes get watery, might make your throat scratchy, all the fun things that come with the seasonal allergy problem. So because my gut was out of balance, I was more susceptible to this overreact, and that's just kind of like the point that they're making here. And when the gut microbiome is disrupted, it's in dysbiosis, it can trigger excessive inflammation, like I said, the stuffy nose, contributing to autoimmune diseases and other health issues. So it goes even far deeper than just your allergies alone. Your immune response is also a weakened response when it comes to developing autoimmune issues, which are a result of inflammation on the body oftentimes. And so if you watched any of the previous videos, and if you hadn't, go back and check them out. It's very interesting how everything is all really kind of related. So it's like, here is my notebook from the last, I cannot find it. It's right under my leg. Um, when I was talking a couple weeks back with the little notebook here, I talk about, the root of pain and, chronic pain and stuff like that. That was also formed by inflammation. So having a heightened immune response to something that's kind of harmless and benign also increases more inflammation in your body, like I said, with the stuffy nose and the itchy, watery eyes and the throat and everything. I shouldn't have eaten right before this, my apologies. But all of these things are like the response factors of your overactive immune system because you might not have a very balanced gut. So it's like it's in hyperreactive mode and it's making you kind of, dare I say, miserable just trying to solve the problem in an overreactive kind of way. And that's another reason why it's really important to heal your gut and focus on the root of most of your health issues, which, like I've said before, is your gut health. And you can strengthen your immune system by improving the health of your gut, which I just said. But this is another question that I had answered. Diets rich in fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria, which is, if you think of good bacteria is like probiotics, you can think of the food that they eat is prebiotic fiber. And that's why they always say fiber rich foods is like you're eating the food yourself, but also when it gets into your gut, it's also feeding the good bacteria. So if your gut is like your farm, you're bringing the proper feed and hay and stuff to your little farm animals that will make you really healthy. And if you don't, that's when your gut gets out of balance. And like I said, it promotes a balanced microbiome, and having a sufficient intake of probiotics and fermented foods, which again also populate your body with more good bacteria. And especially if you have a probiotic like the one that I like to use here for my gut health, and this other one here that I use for mental health, it's freeze dried. It doesn't start working until, with a slow release capsule, it doesn't start working until it gets to the gut area, which is kind of, dare I say, a superior form of probiotics and such, because you're not losing all of the efficacy of it like in your mouth from the saliva and the warmth in your mouth, but it's actually making its way all the way down to your gut before it starts working, and that's why they work so well. And also saying fermented foods because fermented foods are also very good for you. Things like sauerkraut and pickles and anything that is really considered fermented. Like they have um, those are only two I think of off the top of my head. I didn't put those in my notes, but I really do like pickles, especially because I'm pregnant. I love to eat my pickles. I make my own, and when my this is a little side story. When my body's acting up with some acid reflux and I'm a little bit out of whack because this little guy doesn't give my body any room to have my organs and it's all baby and I'm trying to sleep and then my throat feels like it's on fire, I will go and get the pickles because the fermented nature of pickles, the acidic, it's like a little more acidic because it's made with vinegar. Um, that is not just good for my gut health, but it's also good for combating the acid reflux, which is, when your stomach is like flip flopping all over the place and it's really uncomfortable. If you've ever been pregnant, you know what I'm talking about. So grab yourself a pickle or even like broccoli. Broccoli is really fibrous and it's really, you know, and not everyone likes broccoli, but broccoli is really good for you, okay? Don't forget broccoli. Um, yeah, those two things, probiotics and fermented foods, help replenish the good bacteria in the gut. And it's very important to limit your consumption of processed foods since they disrupt the balance of your gut. So anything that comes in a package, like in packaging, really like sugary cereals, TV dinners in the freezer, uh, those unhealthy, like they call themselves healthy granola bar snacks, but a lot of them are actually just like sweets and treats or like cookie aisle or pastries, anything that has a lot of preservatives and is highly processed and it's incredibly shelf stable. Excuse me again. I promise I'm almost done, so I won't have to hiccup and burp in your face. Yeah. But any of these things that are like more shelf stable, they have a lot of artificial ingredients, a lot of things that, um, say if you're making a batch of cookies at home and you have just a few simple ingredients and that's all it takes to make cookies for the most part, but that's not what you're going to find in, say, like a Chips Ahoy pack. They're going to have another list of ingredients in there that's like, where do I find these things in the store to put in my cookies? Not that I want to put them in my cookies, but there's all these added things that make it more shelf stable, to make you kind of a little bit more addicted to the cookie itself, to make you remember that particular cookie is like a household brand. So if I was to describe another kind of cookie, like it's a black cookie and it's got white in the middle, what's the first thing you think of? That's obviously an Oreo. And I don't know if you've ever seen this video where someone like set fire to an Oreo and it was fine. They blew on it with a blowtorch, and the cookie was perfectly fine, and the white cream in the middle was untouched. And I was like, ew, I'm not putting that in my body no more. So the more icky stuff, the more additives, the more preservatives, the more artificial colors and flavors, and all these different things that you don't really need if you were going to make it at home. The more of that stuff that's in there, you don't need it. And it also makes your body really bad and it affects your immune system as by the research that we've done here. So if you want to give your body the best fighting chance, avoid that food. And another thing you should avoid and manage well in your life is stress and especially chronic stress. So if you're constantly like in a state of panic or your state of unrest or you're always worrying about stuff or you're dare I say, like Chicken Little, you're like, the sky's falling. Everything is like making you freak out. You have an overreaction to everything because, like, maybe you haven't thought about what you're thinking about. When that's common in the world, like, until you know how to manage this on your own, it's really common to let your mind run away from you. Because I've been there. And I would panic so bad, and I had to quit jobs where I'm laying on the floor with heavy breathing because I'm having an anxiety attack, and it was also a detriment on my health because like I was in such a state of panic all the time. I also ate a lot of highly processed foods and sugars and drank a lot of soda. So it was like all bad all around. My immune system was bad. I would get sick. If a guy sneezed in the room all the way across the room, I'd get it within like 2 weeks. I don't know if you can relate to that, but I was catching everything. that was bad. Every little sickness, I was sick. Every little sniffle, I got one too. If I was in the room with somebody, or if I spent time outside, I thought it was a myth, but like if you went outside with wet hair in the cold, you're more susceptible to getting sick. That's, I guess, the weakened immune system. Or I don't know how that works. I didn't do research on that, but that used to be relevant to me. I used to get sick because my immune system was so bad, because my gut health was so bad, and the cleaner I ate, and the better supplements I took, and the more exercise that I took, which is a part of the end of my notes here, but I have just a little bit more to share after this little anecdote. So the better I did in all these key areas of health, like better eating, more exercise, and supplementing my diet with good things that populated the gut bacteria in a good way. I'm sorry about the indigestion today. And I fed the good bacteria, and I took care of my gut health, and I was able to bring my body into a really healthy, balanced state. I stopped getting sick. And I'm also 31 and a half weeks right now, as of this video today, January 31st. They always say the first person to get sick in a room of people is the pregnant woman. I have not gotten sick since I started being really adamant about taking my good products and eating very clean and getting some healthy workouts in. So because of I still do eat these things, my body does not revert back to that old awful way of just like constantly getting sick from like everything around me, or like every environmental factor, or like other people that got sick. That's okay. Please don't sneeze on me. That's still gross. But I'm not gonna get sick if you sneeze in the same room as me anymore, if you know what I mean. So my fourth and final point here, and I'm probably going to end up repeating myself because I just shared a little bit of what's in the fourth um, thing here when it comes to allergies. And allergies occur when your immune system overreacts to a normal, harmless substance, like the pollen. And so maintaining a healthy lifestyle with good nutrition, adequate sleep, and exercising regular, also with some helpful supplements, because who wants to eat like 9 cups of broccoli a day to keep your blood sugar balanced? Not me. I love broccoli, but that would get very expensive. And I would get real sick of broccoli, you know? So that's why supplements are good. So you don't have to like over consume these foods just to get the same nutrients you can get from really good supplements that you just take real quick with some water, and then that's it. You're good for the day. That's what I love about them. All this together supports a stronger immune system and potentially lessens your allergy symptoms. So, also, another key point, water. Staying hydrated is very important. Do you know why? I'll tell you. Um, Staying hydrated is vital since dehydration can cause your body to produce more histamines, which is the chemical that causes your allergy symptoms. So, drinking half your body weight in ounces of water daily is very essential. So, hydration doesn't just keep your hair, skin, and nails healthier. So, because of what I take and the amount of water I drink, I have no stretch marks. I hope I don't get any by the end of this or even afterward, but up until this point, there have been no stretch marks because I drink more water than a fish. My body weight went up because I'm carrying another life, so my water intake went up to compensate for that. Water, water, water is so important. If you're constantly feeling like crap, the first thing, or you got any headaches or anything like that, the first thing you should always go to is making sure you're drinking enough water. Chances are you're probably not. A lot of people are dehydrated, and a lot of people have health problems because they don't realize how important hydration is. I could talk about it till I'm blue in the face, and some people will still just drink a sip of water and think they're good for the day. But no, half your body weight in ounces, and whatever other thing you drink. Say you had a big mug of coffee, you drink equal amount of water. You have another cup of coffee, you got to drink the same amount of water. Coffee dehydrates you. Water hydrates you. I am never going to let you go on this one. You have to drink the water, whether you take your supplements or not, whether you exercise or not, whether you like water or not. It just plain pure water, like most of the earth is made of water. So obviously, as humans, we need that pure water to help our bodies stay hydrated and to not get sick. I cannot say it. Here we go again. Every time I get on the soapbox, my indigestion is like, but I cannot say that enough times. Drink your water. It's very important. Drink tons and tons of water. I don't know if you're like in New York, we have a bottle, 5 cents per bottle that you bring back to the store. Of course, they charge you for that. So it would be silly to not bring that back and put that towards your next case of water. You have to drink water out of a case because town water is kind of around here. But if you have a well water, you're even off to a better start. Just half your body weight in ounces. Get one of those really big tumblers that have all the little ounces on it, and then fill it up probably twice for the whole day, and you're minimally good. But if you start to really like water, you can drink a little bit more than that. It's okay, but never drink less. That's my point. And you can use the supplement that I use here for better gut health. And I share it a lot. So if you want to reach out to me and talk about that, I would be more than happy to share what I know and get you off to a strong start. Because it can sort of act as almost an immunotherapy to help heal your gut and bring more good bacteria in and heal the lining of your gut because everything is starting to come into balance. So when your body's balanced, it can start to focus on improving all the other aspects of your health that your body neglects because it's in this unbalanced state. So it's just like, oh, this person's not going to feed me very well. I don't know where to begin. But take care of your gut health. Your body's like, okay, whew, that's out of the way. Now we can take care of all these other little things. Like if you have something called leaky gut, go ahead and look that up. Or if you get allergies a lot, go look that up, the relation between gut health and allergies, like I was saying in this video. Or if you don't drink enough water, and I'm talking to like a lot of you, that I can think of off the top of my head, drink your water. Don't throw this water bottle at you right now. I'm not serious. Water is that important. It is the key to life. Because you ever seen the movie Idiocracy? What are you gonna go and water your plants with Gatorade, or they called it in the movie Brondo? All the extra salt and sugary stuff is gonna choke out the plants. And imagine what that's doing to your body. Take care of your body like you're a delicate little flower and give it water because water gives you life. And I'm just gonna talk about water for 10 minutes, okay? Um, all of these things together, all these action steps, like a healthy gut health routine with supplements, a healthy exercise routine, a nutrient-rich diet, all these different aspects together, put together and mixed up and utilized throughout your day and your week will give you a really good healthy state within your body that I don't want to say that you've never had before, but you probably hadn't if you're living off the American diet. It's really hard to get that without the help of supplementation, without being really, really mindful about what you eat and what you drink and what you consume and how you manage your stress. Don't forget that part either. If you have trouble managing your stress, I can recommend a whole bunch of books right off the top of my head. Looking at my shelf over here, the book Switch on Your Brain. It's really great. It's kind of biblical, so if you're not Christian, just read it anyway, even though I wasn't Christian when I first started. But it really helps you to understand your brain and also what to say when you talk to yourself. All these different kind of mediums can help you to improve your mental health through personal growth. And when you improve your mental health, personal growth, you learn how to self-manage your emotional responses better. And by doing so, you're mentally a little bit healthier than you would have been if you just kind of let it go without a plan. So that's why that's also important. And the last thing I want to say is all these together reinforce your immune responses to future introductions from foreign bodies and invasive pathogens, bacterium, germs, and viruses. So yes, improving your gut health will help you to not get sick as bad, not get the really horrible responses from your body when the seasons change from super frozen to full bloom, or at the end of the year when all the leaves fall off the trees. And you also get that because I used to get it twice a year. I don't know about you. First, when the flowers would bloom, and then when the leaves fell off the trees. I was miserable. Then I worked on my gut health. Then I focused on my overall wellness, and I stopped having reactions to all these things that are in the environment. And also stopped getting sick from people in my environment. So, all around, it's a generally very, very beneficial thing to work on your gut health for the sake of your immunity. So, that's all I have for you. And I'm going to sign off. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening or whenever you're watching this. And I can't say these things without having indigestion, but that's okay. Only 2 months to go. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.